Hey, welcome back to Mr. Smith Garage. We are here in Emeryville in Jill, the 1982 air-cooled Vanagon. Just came across the Bay Bridge, if you're not familiar with that, in San Francisco Bay Bridge. Pretty large two-part bridge. First part is multi-level, so one way you're going out of the city, and then the other level you're going into the city. The other side of the Bay Bridge is a new section that they built 10 years ago, something like that. My friend Eric would know because he actually worked on that bridge for Caltrans. Anyway, so coming across the bridge right when I got onto the Bay Bridge, right out of San Francisco, right where the most traffic is, 3 lanes because they got 1 lane closed. Jill dies. Like, red lights everywhere, no RPM. Tried to just, like throw it into third and with the clutch try to pull it out, and nothing. No go. So throw on my hazard lights, get over as far as I can next to a bridge wall, with cars stacking up behind me. And I thought, this happened to me one other time. I was at the airport in Reading and doing the loop, and it just died on me. Like, I was driving and it died. And then I stopped and waited for a few seconds and turned the key at a time, and it started right back up. So I'm going to do some investigation. I'm going to go to the back. I got to take some stuff out because I've got a couple of seats back there. So take the seats out, get into the engine compartment, see if I can see anything that could possibly go wrong, and we'll report back. Okay, last time something like this happened, that I had any kind of stall or die or anything like that, I had a problem with the spark plug cable and the coil. So you can kind of see here, I've got a plug cable that goes into the distributor. So this thing came off, it fried a couple wires. Since then I've fixed those, and that was probably 2 years ago. Put a new wire on. The next time I had something happen, my distributor, the hall sensor that's in the distributor, like one of the lines cut. I put a different distributor in there, and this distributor is from a car show, the car show Buggerama. I bought this for $5, and I just basically I cleaned it up and stuck it in there to see if it would work, and it worked, and so I just left it in there. And that was about a year ago. Other than that, like, everything is looking good. I don't see any fuses or any burnt wires anywhere. I did have one time where this piece fell off. It fell down there, and I was able to grab it, and that was just last week. I've changed the air filter because it was super dirty from the off-road adventure that we took. I've changed the fuel filter under the vehicle. Maybe I ought to look down there. So here's the new fuel filter setup. I don't see a lot of dirt in there in the new filter, and then this is also new filter. I don't feel like it's a fuel problem because, like, well, I mean, it could have been. Could have lost pressure at some point and then eventually got it back, like once it was low or no RPM, because I was going 55 when I hit the bridge. So in doing my inspection, I really don't see anything that could be a problem. Like, I feel like I'm getting fuel delivery. I do have an old coil on here. I feel like I'm getting spark because after it died, then starting again, it seemed to do just fine. Maybe it's my airflow meter. Something going on with the airflow. I guess that's a possibility. I don't know if there's... I'm just looking at different wires to see if anything's got any kind of problem on it, which I don't see. I'm looking down here at my alternator. I don't see anything melted or burned up back down there. Looking at my accelerator and then the decelerator pump or decelerator valve, everything, all the vacuum lines are hooked up. It doesn't seem like I've got any burnt or melted wires over here. So I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go for it. We're gonna continue on the path that we were on driving home. It's about a 3 or 4 more hours, and so we'll see what happens. Well, for those of you that are following this vlog, I'm trying to wrap up my trip back from San Francisco. So I did go to the San Francisco Vanagon group meetup, which they called Vangorama or Vanorama. Got a video out there for this. On my way back, once I got back from my work trip where I went out to Philly, I was driving back, everything was going great, no problems that I could tell. I get 100 feet, maybe 200 feet onto the Bay Bridge heading east. This is Interstate 80. 4 lanes of traffic on the Bay Bridge that go east, 4 lanes that go west. They're up on top and below each other. If you recall, the Bay Bridge had a little accident a few years ago when Loma Prieta earthquake that a whole section of it dropped, and it was bad news. Anyway, I was on the Bay Bridge in Jill, the 82 Vanagon, and 200 feet, 100 feet onto the bridge, like no power at all. Just like all my lights went on, which it's only like an oil light, and my battery light, all that went on. RPMs dropped to 0, completely stalled. I'm in the slow lane. There's one lane that's blocked for traffic because they have some construction going on. So there's basically 3 lanes going west or eastbound, and I'm already going slow. Like like everybody's going slow. It's like 35 miles an hour to enter the bridge, kind of, but then I go to 0, and I've got cars behind me, I got trucks behind me. It's really like kind of stressed because I'm thinking, oh crap, like I'm stuck on the Bay Bridge and I'm blocking traffic. And like there's no exit for 1.5 miles. And then the last exit was probably like a 1/4 mile back, but I can't go backwards. So although I am on a hill and I could coast backwards if I tried. So I threw my hazards on and started thinking, what could possibly have gone wrong? Like, why would it just die like that? No indications of any problems, and couldn't figure it out. And I remembered that once before I had the same situation where it just kind of like died. I was driving, and I think I mentioned it earlier, and I just stopped, turned it back on. Anyway, so I decided I'm just going to turn the key, and sure enough, I turned the key and it started, and I threw it into first and it started moving. So I don't know what was going on there, but I really am at a loss on that, because when I got to Emeryville, which is just on the other side of the Bay Bridge, I stopped, took some stuff out of the back. I was carrying seats for somebody up here in Reading, and took that out of the back, looked in the engine compartment, could not see anything. I've got a little bit of video on that here too. Couldn't see anything going on, and no wires that were melted, nothing that I could tell. So if you have any idea what could have happened, I made it the rest of the way home. I drove pretty mildly. Like I took freeway at 55 to all the way up to Williams, so over to Vacaville, up 505 to Williams. And then I decided, it's kind of getting warm. It's afternoon, the sun's out. It's like probably in the 90s. My temperature was like around 220. It was staying firm at about 220. And I just drove it slow up the frontage road all the way up to Red Bluff, and then the rest of the way home. So made it home successfully. No other issues, no other stalls or engine turning off. So if you can think of anything that would create that kind of a problem, like just a dead stop, nothing. All I can think of is like AFM, or maybe the hall sensor had like something that just like a wire jiggled, or something was hot, or is there something else that could be going on? Let me know. Thanks for watching Mr. Smith Garage, and appreciate all my followers and those of you that are watching what's going on.